She was beyond saving until a human gave his kidney. She repaid him with her heart. The medical wing of the frontier colony smelled of antiseptic and metal, a cold reminder that the outpost was built more for survival than comfort. Daniel Reeves sat on the hard plastic bench, staring at the chart he'd been handed by the colony doctor. Patient, Lyra Valen. Species, Tellurian. Age equivalent to mid-20s. Condition, terminal renal failure. Prognosis, 1 week without transplant. Daniel closed the file, his jaw tightening. He wasn't a doctor, just a technician maintaining water recyclers, but he'd seen her before. The alien girl with translucent violet skin and soft, silver hair. She'd worked in the hydroponics bay, always smiling even when the crops wilted. Now she was dying, and the doctor had made it clear, we don't have compatible Tellurian donors. No one will risk cross-species surgery. But Daniel had asked a single reckless question. What if I could donate? To everyone's surprise, his blood type and cellular markers were an unusually close match. The risks were enormous. Organ rejection, internal collapse, even his own death. Yet when he thought of Lyra gasping in pain, alone in the sterile ward, his mind was made up. The decision. You're insane, his friend Marta hissed, gripping his shoulder. Daniel, you barely know her. She's not even human. She's alive, he answered simply. And I can help. The colony council argued for hours, weighing the ethics. Some humans distrusted the Tellurians, considering them weak dependents who'd taken refuge in the colony after their world was poisoned. Why should a man risk his life for one alien woman? But Daniel stood firm. If we let her die when we can save her, then what's the point of calling ourselves civilized? At last, permission was granted. The surgery was scheduled. The operation. The night before, Daniel found himself outside Lyra's ward. Through the glass, he saw her lying pale and fragile. The glow of her skin dimmed. Her silver eyes fluttered open as if sensing him. You volunteered? Her voice was a whisper, musical even in weakness. He nodded. Don't waste your breath. Just fight to live. Her thin fingers reached toward the glass, trembling. Why would you do this for me? Daniel hesitated, his chest tight, because no one else would. The surgery lasted 7 hours. Machines hummed, surgeons muttered, monitors beeped. Daniel drifted in and out of darkness, pain lancing through his body as the kidney was removed. When it was over, both patients lived, but recovery was slow. Daniel woke aching, feeling as though half his body had been torn away. Yet when he turned his head and saw Lyra in the adjacent bed, color slowly returning to her cheeks, a wave of relief washed over him. Her lips curved into the faintest smile. You gave me life. Daniel managed a weak grin. Don't waste it. Weeks of healing. Recovery forced them into the same ward. At first, Daniel thought it would be awkward, two strangers bound by flesh. But day by day they spoke. She told him of Thaler, her lost world of crystal rivers and glowing forests, where music was woven into daily speech. He told her of Earth, of the sea he missed, and the blue sky that seemed like a dream out here among the stars. Sometimes they laughed. Sometimes she cried. One night she confessed, I didn't want to die, not because I feared death, but because I never found where I belonged after my people scattered. Here, I was just another refugee. Daniel looked at her, the glow of her violet skin casting soft light across the sterile room. Maybe you belong where someone is willing to fight for you. Her silver eyes shimmered, and something unspoken passed between them. The bond. When they were discharged, Lyra insisted on walking Daniel home, though she was still fragile. She carried a small pouch of Tellurian herbs, said aid healing. In the weeks that followed, she visited daily, cooking strange soups that smelled of mint and honey, humming soft alien tunes that eased his pain. He found himself waiting for her knock for her laughter. Neighbors whispered, some with suspicion, others with curiosity. A human and a Thalorian sharing meals, laughter, even silence. It was unusual. One evening, Marta confronted him again. Are you falling for her? Daniel hesitated, then smiled faintly. I already have. Her heart. Spring came to the colony dome. Flowers bloomed in the hydroponic gardens, nourished by Lyra's careful hands. Daniel visited often, sometimes just to watch her hum to the plants. One night, under the simulated stars of the dome, she turned to him, eyes luminous. You gave me more than a kidney, Daniel. You gave me a future I thought I'd lost. He tried to joke. Well, don't make me regret it. But she stepped closer, trembling. I don't want to repay you with words. I want to repay you with my heart. Before he could answer, her lips brushed his. Warm, soft, unfamiliar yet achingly right. Daniel's arms wrapped around her instinctively, pulling her close. He felt the faint glow of her skin against his, the rhythm of her heart, his heart's gift, beating strong beneath. A new beginning. Life wasn't simple after that. Some colonists frowned, some whispered, but others smiled, seeing the bond between them. Daniel no longer cared about approval. He cared about the woman who had been beyond saving, yet now laughed at his terrible cooking and teased him about Earth customs. One evening, as they sat watching the hydrolights dim, she rested her head on his shoulder. Do you ever regret it? She asked softly. Giving you my kidney? He chuckled. No, best trade I ever made. She smiled, silver eyes shining. Because you got my heart in return? Daniel kissed her forehead. Exactly. Epilogue. Years later, children, half human, half Thalorian, played under the dome stars, their laughter carrying across the colony. Neighbors who once doubted now marveled at the family Daniel and Lyra had built. Every so often, Daniel would press a hand to his side where the scar remained, a reminder of the choice he'd made. And Lyra, catching his gaze, would whisper the words she had told him on that first night of healing. You gave me life. To which he always replied with a smile, and you